All right, all right. Welcome to Masterminds with James Allen. He is I, and I am him. And today, man, oh man, we have one of the most highly requested people to be on this podcast. Let me go ahead and get her introduction off right and proper. She is, uh, you know, uh,
You have
I'll
no
add,
words.
no, I am a loss for words, but I mean, this lady is very special to me. Obviously, she is so many things to so many people. She is a wife, of course, a mother, sister, daughter, coach, entrepreneur. Um, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. In my personal opinion, she is too humble at times. I want her to stand on top of tables and talk her shit, but she won't do so. Recently, since joining EXP, two-time icon and on trending on the way for her third in 3 years. I mean, kicking ass in the real estate game here in Texas. The owner and founder of the RARE Group in Houston, Texas. The one, the only Rachel Allen. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you think about that intro?
It was great. You did a great job. Thanks.
You don't seem too confident in my intros.
No, I think it was great.
All right. That's
I
all you
think you
got?
you got it all summed up. What do you want me to
Yeah.
say?
I just want
It
to
was
know.
amazing.
There you go. That's the kind of shit I want to hear. I want that energy today. So before we go any further, let's just do some housekeeping. I just want to go ahead and say that today's episode is brought to you by Southern House Buyers in Houston, Texas. We buy houses in any condition, whether it be in Houston or throughout Texas and in New Orleans as well. So if you have property that you're looking to sell, please call 281-749-1680. All right. So, anyways, Rachel, what's going on?
Not much. Just here.
Yeah. Yo, I think the theme song for today's episode needs to be Never Would Have Made It, because the shit we've been through today. Yeah.
Today, last couple of weeks.
Fam. So, and it's kind of odd because here we are on this platform, and so many people have asked me, like, yo, you got to get Rachel on there, you got to get Rachel on there. And like, of course, however, my whole thing is uh yeah, I talk to her every day. I mean, all day, every day. So it's like we get on here and I kind of want to ask you, huh?
I said, what do we talk about?
But yeah, shit. I want to ask you, what you want to eat for dinner tonight and who's going to watch these kids. But I don't think that's going to be, groundbreaking, journalism for anybody or, conversations.
Maybe
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. So, what are we doing today? What are we talking about? Are we talking about, your business? What are we doing?
You tell me.
Okay. Well, shit,
Should I be questioning you? Like,
absolutely not. I don't want that. I do not. I do not want that at all. I do not want that at all. So, I mean, shit. All right. Since I'm driving this ship, I think first and foremost is just like, how do you do it all?
How do I do it all?
How do you do it all? That's it.
One thing at a time. Maybe. Okay, that's a lie. I definitely don't do one thing at a time, but I'm working on it.
Right.
I think a lot of it has to do with how you take things on and what type of attitude you have when you're doing it. And I just do the best that I can.
And you're doing a fantastic job, may I add. So yeah, no doubt.
Really? Is that how you really feel?
Huh? I'll put some sauce on there. I mean, I mean, it could be
a couple of days ago. I don't know if that's how you felt about it.
Man, so let's not go there. So no, so yeah, one day at a time. I mean, was very interesting to me, and you know, I could be biased, but we know a lot of entrepreneurs, and in different industries. And, I think success leaves clues. And I'm always interested to see someone's journey of entrepreneurship. And I really do think your story is very interesting. I mean, meeting you and seeing the industry you were in, the work you did, and to now to building this real estate group in Houston and the momentum you have is like super impressive. I guess let me first back up and start because you've done some really cool things, and we don't have to go through the whole your life story or anything like that. People can Google you for that shit, but no. Um, but I really do want to know how real estate and how did you get here today? I mean, it's just because you've been through, you were a manager for a retail space in different industries, and then you've kind of moved to the education piece. And then when we moved to Texas, you were like, yo, I'm going all in on real estate. And it's like, out of everything that's going on, like, why that? And why not oil and gas, or why not, something else?
So real estate was always kind of somewhere in, like, I think ever since I graduated college, I started to know and understand like the principles around real estate,
Yep.
equity, and how it all works. And, I think from early on, I understood that at some point in time, I wanted to buy a house, like pretty early. And so that kind of started off my goals. And then one day I picked up a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Never heard of it.
I'm not sure exactly where, I can't recall where it was that I picked that book up, but it was kind of the catalyst that got me into real estate investing. Right. And so that's where my journey essentially, besides purchasing my first home, after doing that and reading that book, that's what kind of started me on this real estate journey, by way of investing.
Dope. And what's so cool about all of this is because again, when I met you, you were talking that real estate shit like from day one when we, first started dating. And I was just like, man, fuck all that. Like, I'm about to work this corporate ladder. And
oh yeah, I remember those days.
And so
anything different, which was, respectable. Like, and nothing's wrong with that.
Right. And it's just so crazy because today I am an owner of a real estate business, which is not where I saw myself at all. So I just remember early on, you taking me into houses and you were like trying to sell me on and like trying to
get to buy a house.
Yo, and if we would have still,
I wanted that commission.
You see how you do me? But no, I mean, but if we still held that house today, man, oh man.
Yeah, it would have been twice, but it's
more than twice. Before. More than twice. Yo, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
Moral of the story: always listen to me.
Bullshit. But I'm sorry. Let me stop. My mom told me to stop cursing so much in these episodes. So, bull. Yeah, bull crap. So it's really been impressive just to watch your journey and to see where you are now. I mean, now that we're in it, I see it more clearly, but in general, it doesn't take much to know. Like, for one, Houston is one of the largest cities in America, and it's flooded with realtors. And it's like, was that ever daunting to you? Like, me personally watching you were just like, yo, I'm getting in the ring. I'm stepping in there. And it's like, with so much competition and being so saturated, was that ever a thought that kind of crossed your mind of whether or not it was, kind of the right path and the right, I guess, line of work for you?
No, I never felt like the competition was too stiff. I think for me, I knew the only competition was going to be me against myself.
Ooh, talk that shit.
But not so much like that. Not like, I'm work hard. But honestly, it was a couple of things. So when I got into real estate in Houston, back in 2015, took the classes, got licensed, and then it was like, okay, let's just get started. I'm in Houston. I don't have as many contacts. I know some people, but I knew that it wasn't going to be a grind. But I figured, if I put in the work, it would come, and I think that I was ready for that. And I never really thought about it, because there's other realtors out there and there's competition, but it was more, how do I get off the ground? How do I start getting the consistent income coming in? Luckily, I did have the support of my husband to kind of keep us afloat while I worked on that. But, when we think of those early days, it was just timing. Right. Because we had just got married. We just moved back to Houston. We just transitioned from an apartment, into a townhome. Yep. And we had been working for a few months. And then I think that was a time where, when the consistent income doesn't come in, you start to feel it. And for me, always having been very independent, always just wanted to make sure I have my own as well. Which, again, in that first year of marriage, that's something that you're trying to work through as well, figure out how that works, how that looks. Yeah. And then we got pregnant. Right. So I remember at that time, this was in October of 2015, we found out, and funds, they were a little bit tight, and so it was never like it was going to give up, but it had to be a pivot. And so that's when I took a full-time job, industry related, but I took a full-time job for some stability, until I did. And it was funny, as soon as I took that job, that's when I started to see the effort that I put into the business for those first 8 months start to flourish. Yeah. And I say that to realtors out there who are just getting started. That's how it works. That's how it works.
Yo, and that's so dope, because a lot of times, let me complete a sentence. So that's so dope that even though you had to pivot, your end goal was still a part of that path, because a lot of people can, because of their different circumstances, have to pivot, and their dream, their goals can fall by the wayside. But even though in your pivots, you were still working towards the main goal, and it got you there. And I salute to you for that. And I've kind of, from that particular time period, that instance, I've taken some stuff away from that as well. So, hats off to you for that. So salute.
Yeah. And I apologize if I ever go in kind of coaching mode, because this is things that I've learned along the way, but the vision, the ultimate end goal has to be super clear. And although it changes from time to time, that's what kind of helps with that motivation to keep pushing forward, because it was never, for me, in my mind, it's never an option to work for anyone again, other than myself.
She bossy. That's the only part of the song I know, but
because I think once you kind of start on that path, it's just hard to go back.
Yeah. But I'm gonna be all over the place. So sorry, this is who I am, and you know it. But let's talk about coaching. That is something that I've seen recently that you are very passionate about. The different aspects, whether it be getting coaching or providing coaching, and sharpening those skills and working on, your coaching skills. Like where'd that passion come from as of recently?
I will say I've always kind of attributed this to my family I don't know if it's genetics or just the way I was brought up, but I come from a family of teachers. So my mother was a teacher, both my grandparents were teachers. And I think it's just kind of in my nature, just the way I was raised. I'm a lot like my mother. And I do believe that that's just kind of my nature, to want to help educate. It's kind of that very maternal, I want to see you succeed. I want to show you and teach you how to succeed. So I think that's where it comes from. And Real estate is kind of like almost what I've learned in the last year. That's truly what I want to do, is teach, educate, coach, mentor. I want to help people achieve what it is that they want to do. And so real estate was also it's an interest of mine, something I'm passionate about. And so that's my avenue for it. So I want to coach, mentor, train, build, grow a business. But part of like a big part of that is what I really truly enjoy doing every day. It's what I like to call my problem preference. And you know this probably more than anybody else. You know, when one of the agents calls or has questions, I'm like, let me tell you.
Yeah. Hey, y'all agents out there, stop calling the house after 7:00. I'm joking. Yeah. But yeah, I've definitely seen you passionate about that. It sounded like it's something you're striving towards, but I mean, you're truly doing it in this moment. I mean, you coach about a team of around 30 or so. You offer different guidance. Some more than others. Their experience levels range all over the spectrum there. So I mean, you are kind of living it, right?
Yeah, I am. I do coach, train, mentor, but more so than that, I'm always learning too. So I think one of the things that's really important, and I don't know everything.
No shit, really?
But I know how to find answers. And I myself, I have coaches as well, and I just want to have like multiple for different aspects of my life. And many of my friends I consider coaches. My husband, like I learn from everyone, and there are certain people that I know are gonna not just tell me what I want to hear, but they're gonna push me, they're gonna hold me accountable. And that is something like coaching is more than just educating. It's about being able to hold someone accountable too.
Oh man, we just ran into a very interesting topic. So you're saying, my husband's my coach, but I mean, how come you never listen to anything I might suggest? Like,
I listen to you all the time. I just don't admit it.
Okay. Now we getting some breakthroughs. This is on recording, so we're getting, because I can say something that one of your friends or coaches could say. You're like, my coach had such a profound statement. And I was like, yeah, I said that shit like 3 weeks ago. So
you know that goes both ways though, right?
I don't know that goes both ways.
Clearly, at least I can admit it.
I mean, hey, God's working on all of us. So you look so disgusted. You got to get your energy right for these, these conversations. I mean, don't be disgusted with me this early. Damn. So but yeah, Rach, that's super dope. Just kind of seeing where the coaching takes you, and that particular journey. Where do you want it to go? Because I mean, like, you've really kind of you've always done it, like you said, but you're really kind of getting into that coaching mentor space, like official within the last like year and a half. And so where do you see that going?
I want to, as far as it will go, I do see myself, I want to step outside of actual real estate production, maybe within a year or so. Like that's the goal, so that I can start focusing more on coaching business. I do like long-term goals, because I will say public speaking isn't my thing just yet, but it is something that I do want to work on, improve on. I mean, I want to be on a stage. I want to talk to people. I want to impact as many lives as I can, for the better.
Okay.
And again, like real estate business, that's where I want to make my impact.
Okay. And so going back to current state. So again, you have a big role in coaching, but here recently too, productivity has really kicked up, particularly with just the time of the year, the seasonality and whatnot. And that's kind of crazy. I hate to ask this cliche question, because every time you're a realtor, like, where do you see the market? But there's some really spooky shit going on in the economy right now. I mean, I'm talking about at a macro level. I think I just read a headline earlier stating that, I think the S&P is like, at some type of like record low and we're headed towards a recession. You see crypto markets down, equities down, interest rates are up. So talk a little bit about the market currently and where you see it headed.
It's a real estate market.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I was like, I don't know. I'm not really.
Should I buy a Tesla? No.
It's all related.
Right.
The economy, of course, and real estate, like vice versa, affects what happens. But as far as real estate goes, I don't have a crystal ball. The only thing that I feel for certain is that it is always a good time to buy real estate. Maybe a little bit biased. But yes, it's always a good time to buy real estate as long as you know and understand what you're doing and what to expect and you're prepared for what could happen coming forward. So,
but I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because I started in this business in real estate investing. When do you buy real estate property? Real estate. When do you buy real estate? When do you buy good investments? And it's typically in a down market when it becomes a buyer's market and there's more inventory, very low demand, because you can typically get real estate at a good price. So if the market does go that way, look, I have buyers that are like kind of frothing at the mouths waiting to buy at good prices.
Right.
In an up market, it's usually because there's high demand. There's people that need to buy and get into homes. And one thing is for sure, people need places to live.
Right.
So in this current state of the market, yes, mortgage interest rates are up. But if you look at the 30-year, like 30 years, it's kind of just approaching the 30-year average right now. So doesn't mean that you can't buy a home. Doesn't mean that it doesn't make sense to buy a home. It's just the type of home, the size of home, what you can afford may look a little bit different than it did last year.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But it's an interesting balance too, because with demand so high right now, prices are up.
Right.
So it's kind of like this lever that kind of balances back and forth. Right. But I will say this, part of the difference in what happened back when the real estate market bubble happened in 2008, 9, 10, the difference was they were giving out mortgages to unqualified people, and people who purchased home had no equity in their property.
Right.
And so those were much different factors than what's happening today.
But let's pause there and talk about that, because like, yes, prices are up. That's a very light way to assess what's going on right now, because for a lot of people, way up, because a lot of people right now, not to be discouraging, because you are very good at what you do and you're doing transactions consistently. However, right now, a lot of people, you have to prepare them that whatever you're going to still be in a multiple ask situation, and you're probably going to pay overpriced, right?
Currently, right now.
I mean, well, you're going to pay over ask. Pardon me. And so that key thing was, like you said, well, the last time, the qualifying part is a little bit more strict. However, people are still getting into properties right now, paying over ask, waiving contingencies around appraisals, and interest rates are up. And so, okay, right now, are we buying properties upside down?
It depends. It depends. And everything
everything in real estate depends, right?
Everything depends. And so I talk to my clients. That's one of the things when I go to qualify them, I say, hey, right now, yes, in order to get the house that you want, you probably are going to offer above ask. And not just like slightly above, probably well above ask. I mean, we've definitely placed offers 20, 30. I've had offers $50,000 above
Jesus
our list price, or offering appraisal waivers, 50,000 above appraised value. But I think there's something that's really important to understand for anyone who is considering purchasing a home. That market value is defined as what someone is willing to pay for a home. Appraised value is something very different. And so appraised value does not determine the actual market value of a home. what appraised value does is it helps a bank weigh the risk on what they want to loan someone to purchase a home. And so whenever I'm talking to a client about how we're moving forward with an offer or what we're doing, I really want them to understand that, hey, if you're going to pay this much over for the home,
right,
the house will get there, even if it doesn't appraise there right now. What you need to understand is if next year you want to sell, you're going to sell at a loss.
At a loss.
If you can hold on to it, then, and which you can hold on to it, because at the end of the day, you can always rent it. Homes, especially in Texas, are rentable.
Right.
Yes, people rent $10,000 a month homes here in Texas.
Right.
You know why? Because we're a heavy oil and gas industry. It's very transient. There are big CEOs that come from different places that want to, they may be here temporarily. They're coming from overseas. They will rent really nice homes temporarily. Maybe they just need to transition.
Right. Really, the really nice homes. Yeah. But that's not going to be in every neighborhood. I'd push back and say that. And, the ones like, yes, you can get top dollar, but depending on the neighborhood and the comps around there is depending on, if you could get the top dollar for your rental and the condition of your property. And, there's so many different factors. So yes, it doesn't work like that. CEOs and CFOs aren't going to come in and but they're not going to go in and live in a 200K average comp type neighborhood,
Right.
So, yeah. I thought you were going to maybe get some.
No, I mean, right. You're like, yeah. List property. So if you buy a house that's like on the higher, because I think that's one thing that sometimes potential, what I like to call reluctant landlords get concerned with, like, who is going to rent my house to cover my mortgage?
Yeah.
So the $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 homes, rent those out all day, easy. There's a market for that.
Right.
But it's just at the end of the day, there's a solution for whatever you need. But it's really just kind of thinking about like what you want to do next. So, at the end of the day, if you don't want to buy a house right now because you don't want to pay like what you have to right now, just keep in mind that next year it may look different. And so, you may not be in competition, but you still may be paying just as much for a home.
Good point. Yo, do you ever get tired of having that conversation?
No.
Like the housing market? Yeah.
No, I mean, it's what I do every day.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like you literally.
I love it though. Yeah. I mean, because for me, it's not just talking about real estate. It's like educating people about real estate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I literally hear you have that conversation at least 2 or 3 times a day with someone. If you're talking to like a new client and you have to go through the whole thing about the market because, rightfully so, people who have, who don't buy houses often and are getting back into the marketplace and, are
they don't
cautious
every day like I do. Yeah.
No, for real. So, kind of switching gears. So we talked about the market and you clearly know your shit. And huh?
So, I try to stay on top of it.
You heard me? Yeah. So at this point, what's driving you? What's your motivation?
My motivation? There's a lot of things that I could call my motivation. My family, that's the easy one, right? Just to be able to provide, not just financially for the family. It doesn't seem like it right now because the business takes up a lot of time. But one thing being in real estate, it does offer some flexibility. Yes, I work way more than I would a standard 9-to-5 job.
Right.
However, I do have some flexibility in how I lay out those hours and time. And I love that because I can, spend time with my family in certain different ways. I can work from remote locations.
Yep.
One day I will get to the point where I don't have, I can step outside of it.
That's cap.
That right now is one of the biggest things. That is one of my biggest drivers is, I would say 2 things. One is being able to impact as many lives as I can, like through motivation. Just, I want people to really name what they want, because so many people don't do that. People don't even have the vision for what they, where they want to be. So kind of just asking that question and kind of helping people to understand how to remove those barriers. So that's one. And then two, how to get to that freedom time, being able to really navigate through life the way that I want to, when I want to.
Absolutely.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. So that means being able to spend more time with my family, being able to go on vacation, see the world, because I can't, I'm tied to the business.
Right. And so how do you get there?
It's a business I love. So at least there's that.
So, I mean, how do you get there?
So I will say that it's learning how to scale, learning how to leverage, delegate. And that's one of the things that I'm focused on right now is I'm reading a book, and I use the term reading loosely because I'm an Audible person, but there's a couple of books that I'm listening to right now, but one of which is called Traction.
Okay.
And Traction is a book about building a business by being able to, have a very clear vision, goals, being able to prioritize and find the right, it's upside down, by the way. Being able to find the right people to bring into your organization. And so that is kind of what I'm digging into right now, so that I can grow a team that can, like, where we're all, rowing in the same direction at the same time. That creates more momentum. And, when one person gets tired and needs to step out, you still keep going. And so, and I'm tired. I'm ready to step out.
Ooh, Lord. Talk about it. So,
I mean, those are just the things, but.
No, I was just, I've kind of tried to get off that topic because I mean, it's one reoccurring theme too when I talk to different business owners is we are either I initiate like the conversation about just the fatigue and burnout that that goes on in running your own business. And so
and your body will tell you when it's time to sit down.
Oh yes, definitely listen to your body.
Which is why, I think it's so funny and interesting. I haven't really gotten to this part yet. It's in there somewhere, but when you often hear the stories of entrepreneurs that do it really well, a big component of this work, building a business, is minding your health. And so oftentimes you'll hear people who, really create that space to eat healthy, drink a lot of water, work out. It's a work in progress, y'all. But your body has to be conditioned to be able to take the amount of stress, the amount of like time, and you really feel it if you're not doing those things right.
So. Right. I mean, it definitely helps with everything you got going on. It's really trying, like you're saying, conditioning your body to work at its optimal level. And just thinking about kind of going back to the first question is like, how do you do it all? Like, you're involved in so many things, but I mean, you have your own company that you're running. You're a mom of two, married, involved in a couple of community organizations, and then the demands of our family members. It's like, damn. And I just get so amazed because you're all like, there's this one group I think I'm going to join. It's just like, how do you like, how do you,
as long as my husband allows me the time and space.
Allows. Hear that? Allows. Yeah. Like, okay, what if I said no? I do it anyway.
It's very difficult. And I think this is a really important discussion to get into for anyone who is looking to do this. It's, where does your support come in? And I mean, it's vital to be able to do the level of things that I'm doing. And honestly, like, there's way more that I want to get to.
Yeah.
But you have to have the support, the infrastructure. So whether it's, especially with 2 kids, young kids are 5 and 3, so they can't be by themselves.
Right.
So if I'm out doing things, then that means somebody's got to be there. That's where you come in oftentimes, but we are both moving at a fast pace. So shout out to our babysitter, Jasmine.
Man.
Shout out to our family members, cousins, parents, your grandparents, my sister, and anybody who's like, hey, can you watch these kids tonight?
And bro-in-law too. Don't forget bro-in-law.
And some friends have joined in.
Yeah, shout out Soba. Yeah, for real. No, so many people for real help with that, and yeah, just hats off to you. I mean, yeah, we're both doing it together, but I mean, of course, this conversation is not about me, but about you. And you do it.
Hey, we are one baby, so
and you do it.
You have this conversation. So.
Right. No, you know what? And I always get the question, they're like, yo, what's it like working with your wife? And I was like, yo, we don't work with each other. Like, and I guess I can. Huh? You said again?
I said it probably sucks if we work together.
Right. Facts.
We don't.
Right. Because I guess it's misleading because for the fact that, well, we're in the same office. I mean, we both work in real estate, but what we do is completely different. So I guess, just to answer some one of the main questions that I get is like, how's it working with your wife and all that kind of shit. Like, we could go days.
Sometimes he don't show up to my events.
I got shit to do. What do you want me to do? I mean, nobody's showing up to my events. So,
well, I would be there if you had them.
Yeah, but next question. No, how do you feel like, particularly in the work setting? Because I don't want to answer the question for us, but we both are looking to scale, and like, do you think there would be like any type of like, I guess high level jealousy if there was some smoking hot assistant that I got?
I don't know. Should I
be jealous? I don't know. Should you? I don't think I could tell you to be jealous or not.
Well, I mean, I think that for me, I'm not gonna say like this hasn't kind of come up. I'm definitely gonna be like, okay. Like, my first question is she qualified?
Right.
That's a big question. So, like, what are your what is the criteria you're basing this hire on?
Absolutely.
That's the first step.
Right.
But outside of that, like, I 100% trust you. So at the end of the day, like, don't give me anything to be jealous about.
Yeah, I mean,
something to be jealous about, I will be jealous. But
I think trust and jealousy are two different things. But I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I was always. What
about you? What if I hired a smoking hot assistant that was male?
No, I don't want no Ryan Reynolds, fucking Michael B. Jordan looking ass motherfuckers in here. Hell no. Hell no.
Right. If he was qualified, what's wrong with that?
Man, take his ass down the road. Nah, I'm joking.
Walking around the office with his shirt off.
That's gotta be some kind of law of sexual harassment or something. I don't know. But hell no. I'm just gonna close my door.
Okay. So that's interesting. That's a very interesting double standard we have going on.
Close my there was no standard by me on the other end, but nah, I just close my door and do push-ups all day. That's all I would do. Just do push. Nah, but
well, let's talk about this though.
Right. Okay.
Are we putting restrictions on assistants?
No. I'm not.
There's something you would want me to do if I had someone like he was qualified, attractive, and fine, like all of the things.
Why your hands getting like that when you're talking about this imaginary person? You gotta relax.
My question is,
you gotta relax a little bit. Okay, yeah.
The question is,
yes.
What would be your expectation for me if he's qualified? Like, perfect, like personality profile, had the experience.
I mean, you've had like, good looking dudes come through here, pause, but you've had some good looking dudes come through here. I mean, that's a sucker move on my point to be like, nah, go get a girl. Like I'm never gonna stand in the way of you getting to your goals or your money. So no, that's a sucker move. Nah, I was just saying that shit like to joke, but no, if you really want to put me on record and I got your ass, nah, get out of here.
I'm gonna put this on the.
Get out of here with this. I mean, I never be on like on no shit like that. Yeah. But I'm like, hey, ain't no working lady. Y'all take y'all asses home.
I mean, the good thing is you do work next door.
Yeah, but I mean, when we're both here, but but I would never be on some sucker shit like that and try to put stipulations and slow down the growth of someone's business. No, that's some sucker shit to me. So, it is what it is. But I mean, just like the Michael B. Huh?
I said I feel the same way.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, if there's a qualified Michael B. Jordan dude out there, there's got to be a qualified Fat Albert dude out there somewhere that wants, that same opportunity. Don't tell me that
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. Be an equal opportunity.
I don't hire based on. Okay, let me actually not say that. Like, you have to be presentable. You have to, you have to be able to represent the brand, and that's not from like a attraction or not. It's mostly a taking care of yourself aspect of things.
Right. And what is the brand? I mean, I being silly, kind of getting into it, back in the serious. But what is the RARE brand? Because, like, as there are a few pockets of teams out there in Houston, and you could kind of look at them and kind of like you could kind of tell just from where their IG aesthetic, just where their pages are laid out, are the kind of content they're providing. You could kind of almost put together and guess which person is which a different team. And that's not a knock. There's certain people have certain looks. And so, I mean, what would you say your team's brand is?
So for the brand itself, I mean, at the end of the day, like from a aesthetic standpoint, it's well-groomed, clean, neat, put together. Yep. But we're more here than anything else. So education is the foundation of everything. And so that's part of our mission statement. Like we're not here to just sell you a house. We're here to educate you on the process and look at it from a long-term perspective. You're purchasing a home, it's real estate, it's an investment. And so we want to sit down and talk about, where is this home? Like, is this your first home? Is this a step-up home? Is this, your forever home? What does that look like in your long-term plan? Because sometimes, even if you're looking to get your first home, we still have that conversation about what you want your forever home to look like, because we need to build that into the full plan.
Right.
So that, I think, brand vision. And so it does tie into investing in real estate. But I mean, just to kind of summarize, the brand itself is not just about a look, it's about the plan. It's about being able to look at it from that 1,000-foot view of where you want to be. We're here to kind of map out that plan for how to get there.
I mean, and even more so than just like a person's look, maybe like the look of, or I say look, but maybe interchangeable, using like, I guess the scale of where someone may be within their life. Like a lot of people don't know that you still help out first-time home buyers all the way to people buying $1 million properties. And you really found your niche initially with helping investors. And a lot of people, because I'll get stuff like, hey, I know your wife is a realtor, but, I'm like just looking to, or, I'm looking to buy my starter home, or I'm looking to buy investment property, but I don't know, could she help me, or it's not in Houston, it's in Roshare or whatever like that. And so a lot of people don't really know, like, you are, still very much involved and on the spectrum, and you know, and you provide a lot of different, you know, services to people.
So I will say I can perform first time home buyer to luxury services, kind of the bread and butter and the primary focus. Like what I target is that in between. So typically purchases between 400 and 600,000 price point. But again, like I have agents that work with my team, and we cover the spectrum. So even though that may be where I live with most of my business, we have agents that work with first-time home buyers. There are agents that do luxury listings in the group, and you know, all over Houston. So Houston is massive, and it, you know, it goes pretty far and wide. What I will say is, you know, if somebody comes to me and says, I want to buy a commercial building, I don't know much about it. And so those are times when I'm not going to do more than is what in my wheelhouse of what I'm comfortable in educating and advising on. So that's one thing you'll know with me. If I take it on, I know what I'm doing. If I don't, I'm going to refer you to someone who I know knows what they're doing. And so that might be a specific type of niche, like land. Land isn't really something that I know much about. Farm and ranch, you know, the list goes on. But I do know investment property. So single family, 1 to 4, even small multi-unit, probably up to 10 units. But I mean, even that, that's more your focus. So someone's like, I want to buy like a 8-10 unit building. I'd be like, all right, let me partner you with James, who has done more of those type of transactions than I have. I mean, I'm still gonna get my cut. I'm not and referral business. So again, you know, being with EXP and the larger network, like if you're listening to this and you're in California and you need a referral for an agent out that way, we just a friend of ours recently just reached out and said like, hey, I have a friend in Dallas who needs to sell her home. I know y'all can help. And so it's really just kind of reaching out to the connections we have that we know that those potential clients can be taken care of.
Yeah. And the other thing a lot of people don't know is the leasing aspect as well, whether it be, and so one of my frat brothers was actually looking at leasing a while back, and he originally didn't reach out to us, and I had to cuss his ass out. And I was like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you know, it's not, we do that too. So,
and we do it really well. So I will toot my own horn on that, because I've talked to agents that whether it's listing a property for lease, that's really where I specialize. But also if you are looking to rent a property, whether it be a single family home or an apartment, I can help you with that.
Okay. And I mean, you've a few times talked about, you know, your networking, your teams. How important are relationships and your network to you?
It's everything.
Yeah.
It's everything. So, you know, it's kind of funny because, you know, first off, I start off from this mindset of abundance. Like, it's not competition. It is all day in my book, collaboration over competition. Shout out, I didn't make that up, but like, you know, very good friend Aisha and I, we are with different brokerages, but we talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about like who you can get as clients or who I can get as clients, or even when we're in transactions with other agents. I don't go at it like I'm going to beat you up over my client. It's like, how can we work together to reach this end goal? How can we make this win-win? And it's the same thing for other agents. And so when it comes to education, that is a value that we really stand on here at the RARE Group. You know, we provide education. Every Tuesday we have a lunch and learn. So if you're on my IG or the RARE Group, shout out to RARE Group _EXP.
Yep.
You'll see every Tuesday we have classes that are open to all agents who want to come and learn. Some of them are CE credits, so you can get your education credits, but it's open to all realtors. And honestly, even if you're not a realtor and you want to learn about it, like, come through. You know, I really just think that there's power in that. And like, what do I get out of it? One, I love to educate. So it kind of checks that box off for me, but it's the ability to network with other agents. And develop referral partners. So again, everybody has different specialties. One of our classes was on leasing, and there was an agent who she just helped a client buy an investment home. And she was really like anxious about listing the property because she's like, I don't know this area of the business, and it's honestly not enough money for me. And and I was like, look, all day, let's establish a referral partnership, different brokerages, but look, I can help you help your client, and like we can both eat off of it. So like, how do we forge more of those type of relationships? Because I feel like at the end of the day, there's enough for everybody.
And yeah, I mean, you are very good at collaborating across brokerages or within the brokerage. Do you ever kind of get that, like, being with EXP, that kind of like, that kind of off-putting, that all she's trying to do is recruit me type of thing? Do you ever get that at all? Because no.
I mean, I imagine that there are people who look at, not imagine, I know that that's how people look.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? So anything that has that kind of structure, of course, will feel that.
Right.
So, I mean, how you feel is how you feel. And if that's what you feel like it is, then like,
right.
You're welcome to feel that way. But for me, that's not what it's all about. I'm not going to sit there and tell you like, hey, come to this class to learn EXP. Like, we really don't even talk about that. But I am interested in forming relationships. If you have questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. And if this may potentially be a right fit for you, I always welcome the conversation. I like it. I mean, I pretty much operate my business like for free. And yeah, anyway.
Talk your shit. I mean, why are you stopping?
If you have questions, reach out. But like, I'm happy where I'm at.
So. You can talk your shit. Don't hold back at all.
It is not for everybody.
Yeah? Why so?
Because it really just depends on like what you need to create your business. So some things that were big for me was being able to have my own brand within EXP. So it's Rachel Allen Real Estate Group, powered by EXP Realty.
Right.
I'm not EXP Realty. I'm not like blue orange EXP Realty sign. Because like, again, like, although the values of EXP are in alignment with the business that I do, the brand of RARE Group, I think, fits within that, but it's different.
Yeah.
Because it's that part of focused on that education piece. That's something that I just like really, go into. As far as like technology, it is a technology forward company. If you struggle with technology,
stay your ass with you.
It just may not be the right fit.
Right.
So everything we do is electronic, like electronic paperwork. I haven't seen a printed out contract in a very, very long time. Everything's electronic signatures. Most of our, besides the classes that we hold within our group here in person, there are no offices. Well, I won't say there's no offices. There are options, but you're not going to see like these big brick and mortar spaces. Every office space is usually either like operated by, individual teams or groups under EXP.
Right.
So that's one of the things that I had to get adjusted to. There was no office. So I created my own here, and working to create that culture within this office that's specific to that. And so if the split structures are really great for me.
Yeah.
I enjoy them, but some may feel differently.
Right. So, and I think even more so than you're saying, it may not be for everyone, and you went through a few things. I think more so is really important. If you join EXP, make sure you're joining the right group with support that's supporting whatever you're trying to do. I mean,
that's true too.
yeah. So I think it can be for anyone looking to hop in, but
you got to find the right group. There's
absolutely
many groups that are run as teams. So if you're looking at a certain type of culture or vibe that you fit with, find that for yourself. There are groups that are focused completely on real estate investing. There may be groups that are focused completely on luxury or I don't know, vacation prop. There are groups that focus solely on educating on how to get in the luxury short-term rental market. So there you just gotta figure out for yourself what you're looking for and what you need. And if you want to have that conversation, like, I'm open to it.
yeah.
And what you might find is that maybe this isn't the right fit for you, or maybe it is.
No,
I talked to a lot of my agent friends many a times and saying like, hey, you should join, but it's not the right fit for them. It's not the right fit.
And call me crazy. I think eventually a lot of those people are going to end up being EXP, but now where they join.
I have a very, very good friend who was with EXP, and she's like, I am ready to go because I can't just pick up the phone and call somebody when I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you can call me, but it just isn't, as far as what she's trying to do, what her goals are, it's different.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this. So you've already talked about culture and vibes of the different groups, and we've talked a little bit about the culture. So, of what the RARE team is, what you want it to look like, what you're working towards in the culture. But what's the vibe? What's the vibe of the group?
Again, I think it's just collaboration over competition, and also self-development. So every week we have a class where we do a lunch and learn education series, and then every Thursday a group of us within it's a smaller group within the larger group, we do a book club. And so it's constantly, and it's mostly self-development books on building your business. Right now we are reading, and again, I listen to
You're just qualifying that with like, I listen to.
I do. I mean, I don't like front and say like I'm reading all these books. I'm listening to these books.
Right.
Because I drive a lot, or I wash dishes a lot, I fold laundry a lot. Like, I'm listening while I do these things. That's how I receive the information better. If I pull out a book, I'm going to fall asleep while reading it, or my mind is going to go to different things because I have to almost be doing something with my hands or like something else to keep myself focused. But right now, our book club book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. And when I tell you, it's just those kinds of books are so important. And then we talk about it every week and kind of apply it in context to some of the things that we're going through or experiencing in transactions and how it can help. And so we meet every Thursday at a coffee shop to talk and discuss that. So that's what the culture.
Now, is this a girls only? Because I still have yet to be invited to any of these Thursday meetings, but that's cool. I mean,
you have to. I mean, you're invited. You don't.
I own the books. I mean, I got all the books y'all be reading.
Come through. It's where I go every Thursday. Come through.
I don't want to invite myself.
It's not girls only. Everybody in the group is invited. If you participate in our Houston group WhatsApp chat, you may have seen it. If you decide not to do that, but look, here's your invitation every Thursday morning.
So how many guys show up to these groups?
None. So you can start the trend.
I mean, you look a little offended. I'm sorry. All right. It is not girls only. All right.
I'm not offended at all. We would be ecstatic to grow the group.
Yep.
And also to have a male perspective. So it seems like you're kind of obligated to come to the next one.
Nah, that seems like a trap to me. Fuck that. I ain't going to be the guinea pig. I am not going to be the guinea pig. No, I mean, it's cool. We've got a little bit of the vibe on the business, kind of how you got in there and how you're scaling the future, and as you look forward towards, pardon me, of growing the coaching aspect of your business. But outside of work, what do you do? Is there any time? Is there any time outside of work and all the obligations that you have? What does that look like? What does Rachel enjoy?
The funny thing is like those hats that I wear, that is what I enjoy. I know that sounds like a very cheesy answer.
No, not really.
Like, the great thing about what I do is like I honestly get to hang out with my friends.
Right.
I get to hang out with my husband. I mean, I can hang out with my kids if I really, I mean, how many times have we gone to like look at a property? We've just brought our kids with us.
Right.
So outside of like the office setting or, being on a computer, it looks like family at home. Well, sometimes it's like cleaning and all that other stuff, but other times it may be family movie night. It may be going to hang out with other friends that have kids, going by other family members.
Right.
And then, whereas most times you're like, okay, what do you do outside? I'll go to happy hours with my friends. Oftentimes they're networking related. Like maybe I'll take friends or like, hey friends, let's go to this networking event. Or just set up time to spend time with people outside. I like to drink wine. I like to drink coffee. I like to hang out. I like to listen to books. And now that COVID is definitely not gone. So
yeah, COVID's outside.
Wash your hands, mask up if you need to. It's making a comeback around.
And the monkeypox is out there. Don't fuck with that monkeypox.
Watch out for the monkeypox.
Man, we laugh at this shit. Watch like this may age very badly. Like
Google it, monkeypox. It's something that came up like a little news article.
Sorry, like
somebody caught monkeypox. I don't know. I'm afraid
that shit is not funny. Yeah, it sounds terrible.
But travel is definitely something that we need to get back into.
Yeah, I hear you.
Travel club. That's what we need.
Shit, talk about that one. I'll be at that one. I will definitely be a part of that one.
So I'm starting to plan some trips.
I'm loving it. I'll definitely show up for that. So, I mean, you do a lot of networking, communicating, meeting new people. Would you consider yourself an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm an introvert.
How is that even possible with being a realtor and all the networking and shit you have to do, that you would consider yourself an introvert?
Because I need time to myself to recharge. So,
but don't we all?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
But I see the difference between introvert and extrovert, meaning I can connect with people very well individually on one-on-one. But if I go into a room of people that I don't know, I don't really know what to do. Yeah. And when I mention public speaking, I'm not the person that's going to get up and be like, hey, look at me, everybody.
Yeah.
That gives me lots of anxiety. And so that's what extrovert means to me. Introvert is, I just like those, I like time to myself, but I also like one-on-one relationships more than anything else. So I consider myself an introvert.
Okay. All right. No, I see that.
Maybe we should look up the definition and see if it's accurate.
Yeah.
I'm shy, right? Like I consider myself shy.
Fair. Okay. I mean, yeah, Rach, we've kind of talked about, everything, about your business and, a little bit about you. Is there anything out there that we haven't touched on that you would want to, you kind of want to put out there in the air? What you think about the new Kendrick Lamar album?
I know a bit what you listen to it.
So,
I mean, like it's pretty deep. Sounds like it needs some dissection and understanding. And definitely sounds like you probably need to listen to it a couple times.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna start my own group on Thursdays and we can talk about that. Yeah. Anything else? I mean, that you you really want to touch on, or it's something that you want to talk about that we probably maybe haven't?
I think that, yes. The only thing I'll say is, because again, this is one of those things like for entrepreneurs, and in whatever way I can touch people to encourage and motivate.
Oh shit, here it comes. Let's go. The
Like,
finale. The finale. Okay.
There's three things. Like, what would I tell like a new agent getting in this business is like,
Yeah.
one, just get started, just do, be in it and go hard. But more than anything, be consistent. So like,
let's stop right there. I know we got to go get the kids. I mean, we're kind of running late on time, but let's stop right there. I hate that shit though. Just get started. Just do what is step one? Can you give an actionable item that somebody is looking out there, has been following Rachel Allen real estate and really wanting to get into this real estate industry? What is the first actionable item somebody could take?
Research. First thing is research, and that can be a spectrum of things. So one of those could be find a mentor. If you see somebody doing something that you think you want to do, go talk, like reach out, talk to that person. But like, do it by providing value. Just saying like, hey,
yeah, it's very important. Yeah,
because most of the people who are doing it and doing it well at high levels, they're busy, and so you have to give them a reason to take time from what you're doing, or what they're doing, to talk to you. So that could be like saying like, hey, how can I just want to learn from you. Can I spend some time with you? Can I learn from you? Can I provide something to you?
And what would that be? What would that look like? Because I mean, some people, if I have the time, I try to do it. I don't really do it as much as more. But when somebody's trying to buy me coffee or something like that, it's like,
yeah, I mean, coffee or a meal, that's sometimes, but I mean,
that doesn't really, yeah, that's not really.
It takes away from, it's a distraction. And that's something that I've learned in my business too. It's a distraction. So I can't take on those anymore.
Right. Exactly.
But like for me, let's say if somebody wanted to learn from me, I have classes every Tuesday. Show up. That's how you can learn. Establish a relationship and say like, hey, would you mind if I shadowed you for a day? And then in that day of shadowing, you could try to like understand what maybe some of the needs are that you could help with. Because again, people need help. And so that's one thing. And then research. So to get started in real estate as a real estate agent, you need a license. So figure out what you need to do to get that aspect done. But also three, there's so many different avenues and aspects of real estate. Like, which one do you think is your lane? Figure out what gives you joy and what you want to do. Things that are going to energize you versus like take from your energy. So when you first get in the business, you can almost guarantee, especially if you go to some of the big name brokerages, here's how you get started. You make all these phone calls and you go knock on people's doors. And when I first got into the business, I was like, okay.
Right.
And then I would start making calls. I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to be making, let me call my sister and just tell her how like nerve-wracking this is. And I remember so many times I printed out things to go knock on doors, and I would go to the first door, nobody answered. I go to the second door, nobody answered, and then I go home. So like, find things that are going to give you energy, things that you want to do, because there are 1,000 things. And so once I found out that I could run my business by like just calling, not even calling people, texting them and saying like, hey, how's your day going? There's ways to really just, again, I'm a one-on-one relationship person. So building those relationships with people really is what ultimately helps my business flourish. Now, it's not the instant, it's not always going to be that instant gratification. It took time to build to get there.
Yep.
But that's the like get started. And so it wasn't until.
And when you say time, I'm sorry, but when you say time, put that in perspective, because a lot of people are like, yeah, I understand it's going to take some time. I'm just going to put this work in for 6 months, a year, and
It could be that. It depends on how, if you're going to get out of it what you put into it. So if you're only putting in 2 hours a day for a year, you're going to get about 2 hours a day for a year worth of business. And that's actually probably going to be decent. But you know, if this is your full-time job, you should be putting like at least 8 hours a day into it. So whether that's prospecting for new business, which is a part of it, and then running the actual business, which means like contracts, showing property, you know, listing, like managing listings, things of that sort, you really have to put in the time and effort. And, you know, when I talk about consistency, it's mostly on that marketing side. So if you're trying to find new business, you have to find your niche and how you're going to do that, and don't do it once or twice. And if it doesn't provide you with a result, quit. Like you have to almost pre-decide how long you're going to do it for. And probably anything less than 6 months is not worth it. Like if you're not going to do it consistent at a high level for at least 6 months, then I probably would not make that a thing. So that's why you have to think about things that are going to give you energy.
Yeah.
So like just on the, as I kind of starting to move into this coaching and training thing, I started holding Tuesday classes, and you know, I would start and it's just like, okay, like maybe a couple of people show up, one or two. It's starting to grow over time, but had I stopped just because I wasn't getting the result that I wanted at first, and I'm still not exactly where I want to be, but I am starting to see some momentum building with
Absolutely.
consistency over time. So I will hold a class even if only one person signs up. I will hold a class if nobody shows up,
You
because
will
at the
hold
end
a
of
class if the power goes out.
I'll hold a
And
class if the power goes out. The show must go on. And
yeah.
again, for me, I am just so focused on consistency right now. It's almost like, yeah, it's, but I see where the results come in, and it's hard.
Yes,
You
yes, it
just have to
is.
show up. You just have to show up.
So, and I typically ask everyone this towards the end of an episode. So when it's all said and done, what does Rachel Allen want to be remembered for?
Just in, being an inspiration, motivating. I want people to feel like if I knew you, like that I cared for you.
Dope.
That I always want to see people win. That's what I want to be remembered for.
Amen to that. That's what's up. Well, no, Rach, I really appreciate it. You're the only wink wink two-time person on this particular platform. Nice, because we originally tried to do this and technology failed us horribly. So I do appreciate you literally taking the time out and twice and hopping on here and doing this, giving game, kind of showing your perspective on stuff. Yeah, I really do appreciate it. And it's awesome to, have a front row seat and see where you are headed and where you're taking everything. And I am super proud of you. So yeah.
Thanks, babe.
No problem. But yeah, so I really appreciate you, Rach, for hopping on Masterminds. I hope you guys out there enjoyed this episode. Again, we have weekly episodes every Thursday.
Consistency. Look at that.
Talk about it. I mean, the only thing that kept us out was COVID. Kind of these last couple of weeks is, but shit, we're back at it. We bounced back. So, yeah, this has been another episode of Masterminds, and until next time, appreciate you guys. Peace.